Hello everybody, I'm Youngmin Lee. I'm so happy to share Barbara's boat 3D 조각보 coaster with you today. Here's my coaster with my teacup, and I have a story to share with you. One day my friend Barbara sent me an email with one photo image, and she said, I was traveling and had a tea served with this type of coaster, and I thought you might be able to figure it out how to make it. So she tossed the idea, and that ignited my curiosity. So I started folding papers and folding fabrics, and then finally I figured out how to make it. So I'd love to share it with you. After I figured out how to make this, I started making a lot of these coasters using different materials and different colors and even different patterns. And I'm happy to share how to do this using 조각보 making technique that I will use hand stitching technique called 감침질 whip stitch, and how to start with flat two-dimensional pieces of fabrics and turn into a 3D coaster like this. So let's make it together. Let's take a look at the materials. Here I have chunpo. Chunpo is a blend fabric that has rami in one side and silk on the other side. Rami gives structure and resilience to this fabric, and silk is giving really nice sheen. So I love to use this material when I make my project. If you do not have this type of fabrics, you can use different fabrics too. I sometimes use linen. Medium weight linen is really good material to do this. And also silk with a little bit of structure. So this is fabric called oksa. Oksa has really nice quality of keeping structure. And sometimes I use plain weave cotton. Patterned fabric is also fun to play with. So this is patterned linen that I can cut and put pieces together to make really nice design. So as I said, you can use printed fabric or solid fabric, cotton, silk, linen, or chunpo, rami and silk blend. Sometimes I use mochi, rami, to make this project too. I have my needles and pins and some clips, thread. Different color is fine too. Fabric marking tools such as heat erasable pens or chalk pencil. Hera marker so I can make the crease. Rotary cutter, or you can use fabric scissors, which is fine, and small embroidery scissors to trim off the thread ends, and grid ruler. I think I am ready to start my sewing. Here I have my tea coaster and teacup. It has a shape of boat. In order to make this shape, we will make a flat 6-inch square using small pieces of fabrics. And then we will fold and stitch and turn into three-dimensional shape like that. Let's start with our first 2 pieces of fabrics. I will give a good 1/4 inch or 6 or 7 millimeter seam allowance. Fold from top to the bottom. The folded seam allowance is inside and inside, and they will meet together. So outside is smooth and you don't see any raw edge from this side or the other side. Now we will do 감침질 whip stitch. Start with making a knot. Here's my knot. And I will start from the inside between 2 layers, top layer and the bottom layer. My 감침질 whip stitch back to the front, back to the front, guiding my next stitch with my left thumbnail, and try to make small and even stitches. And I often think about making tiny stitches and try to find your own rhythm can be a very soothing act of sewing. I also feel these tiny stitches can hold my good intention and wishing for something good or happiness. So finished piece of work can contain my good wishes. When I reach to the end, I will just go through the back layer only, so I can place my needle and thread in between 2 layers. Make a knot, and then I will place my needle from the inside middle to the top layer, so I can hide my knot inside. Here's my knot. And press from the top side and the bottom side. Here's my first 2 pieces. I have a couple more pieces that I already made, so I can build my block. by adding more pieces like this. But you always need to have the same length, same size, same amount to put together. And before you put these two together, we will need to give a good 1/4 inch seam allowances on both sides, and then fold from top to the bottom and place them together and stitch. I have a piece that I already finished, and this measures 6 inch by 6 inch. Looks pretty good. So I think I will use this one, and solid 6 inch by 6 inch square, or another block that I already made that measures 6 inch by 6 inch. So if you want to have one side with the pieced block designs and the other side has solid fabric, you can do it, or you can put both designed blocks together. This time I will try with one side with the design and the other side with solid cut. I will give 1/4 inch seam allowance on all 4 sides. So I am going to use my fabric marker to give 1/4 inch on every side. And this one too. I'm going to give 1/4 inch seam allowance around all 4 sides. Once I got really good lines, then I can use my fingers to fold. So I'm going to iron a little more. I will do on this side. Okay. Now I ironed all 4 sides on both pieces of fabrics, and I will put as you can see, I'm unfolding the edges with folded from 2 sides, so just make it straight. And over here too, just make it straight so you can stitch from one end to the other end. We don't have to fold the side seam. Just take 2. So I am going to stitch from very end of right side to all the way to the left side. This time I am going to use blending color thread. Back to the front, back to the front, back to the front, back to the front, trying to bite a little bit from back side and the front side. As you can see, I'm running out of my thread. So when I have 2 needle length of thread left, we'll tie a knot by going through the back layer only. So I can place my needle and thread in between the back layer and the front layer. And I will place my needle on top of it and wrap around it twice to tie a tiny knot. Then I will bury my knot in between the layers. And I will get another new thread and will keep stitching over here. Now I have a new thread with a knot at the end. So I will start from inside, in between the top layer and the bottom layer. Place my needle from here to the outside. Hide my knot. And I will keep my 감침질 whip stitch back to the front, back to the front. Now I finished putting 2 pieces from the top of the shape. This time I will open and iron. Stitch all the way to the end and open seam, and then iron flat, and then fold from both sides. And then place them together. So from here to all the way to, so I will do it. So when I stitch one side first, all the way to from the end to the other end, and then fold the seam together and pin, stitch together. After this second stitch line, I will move to the opposite side. I will fold it together and pin and unfold all the way to the end. And then I will finish the last side. So one side and first side, second side, third side, and then the fourth side over here. So this will be the way that you can minimize the shifting and changing the shape from square to slightly off shape. So I will do these 2 sides, and then I will show you how to do the last side. Hide my knot when I start. Now I got my all 3 sides connect together with whip stitch, 감침질. It had moved around a little bit, so I will have to adjust a little bit when I score my last seam allowance, front side and the back side. This is my last side, the fourth side that I will put together, and then I will be done connecting all the sides. So now I finished making a square. Press. Here's my finished square, and now I will fold this one into a three-dimensional shape. Now I got a few pieces that I finished by putting small pieces together and make into a square, and add another piece the square on the back side and stitch all the way around. So let's take a look at this. As you can see, I put one line in the middle from front and the back side, and then two other lines by folding the corner from the outside to the center middle line that I made, and I will iron and iron on the other side too. And flip it over and use the same line to fold to this side too. So it's important to iron exactly the same line from both directions. Now I will take the middle line and the middle line to pull out, and the small triangle will move to one side, and then the other side, this triangle will go to the other side. So you can put one triangle on the right side and one triangle on the left side. I think this looks good, so I will take this one as my top layer and make sure all the lines are comfortably sit. And then I will put one pin over here and another pin over here to secure the triangle part. And eventually I will iron and make the shape for the sides. Take my needle and thread to give a few stitches to make them stay together. You don't have to do many stitches, 1 or 2 is fine. I will move to the other side to make everything sit comfortably. I will secure I am going to do a couple more stitches to secure the folded part. And move my needle and thread in between layers to tie a tiny knot, and then hide it. Now my two-dimensional square turned into three-dimensional boat shape coaster. I can place my teacup here and it will look just like this. I have more here that I used different colors, and I think I am ready to have a tea party.